epithelial membranes there. You got mucous membranes here that line the esophagus. I have better pictures of these there, but when we get into these regions here, you'll see that all of these regions they have these linings. Okay, and we'll get into these, all right. But they basically have their own kind of cavities. They all have their own space. That's what this is all about here. And you have the visceral pericardium. Okay, the parietal pericardium. Okay, and these are just basically cellophane, plastic wrap that surrounds these organs, the heart, the lungs, these kinds of things. And we'll show you there the visceral pleura, the parietal pleura. Okay, on the outside of the skin there, you have your cutaneous membrane, even lining there of the large intestine there, we have the visceral peritoneum and the parietal peritoneum. We'll talk more about these as well. Just another shot here. You'll see there that the lungs, they just sit in here, and there's I'll show you this right here. If I can scroll down. For the lungs here, you have your visceral pleura, which is closest to the lungs, and then you have your parietal or parietal pleura. And you see how there's a gap here? Well, you got to think that what happens there is if you put two pieces of plastic wrap together and you put a little bit of water in between the two pieces of plastic wrap, and then you kind of flatten them out so you get all the air out, so you have two pieces of plastic wrap that are stuck together with some water in the middle. That's what's going on here. And we breathe, but the only part of breathing that we do is we're just expanding our the muscles are making the chest larger, and you see you're pulling the lungs. There's a whole expansion going on. But think back to your two pieces of cellophane or two pieces of plastic wrap separated by some water. There's no way in heck you could ever separate those by pulling them apart, because there's massive suction there because there's water in between these two pieces of plastic wrap. So that's what happens there with the lungs. When you breathe in and you expand your lungs, you have one piece of plastic wrap that's completely attached to another, these guys right here, and you see you breathe in, which makes the chest go out. The lungs go with it because of these two pleura right here. There's a suction in here. And if you ever know anyone there who has a punctured lung, like there was a bad example there where some guy fell on a fence post. He was okay. He's made it. Everything's fine, but he fell on, I think he was on an ATV, and he fell off and landed right on a white picket fence and went right through a fence. Well, it's called a pneumothorax, where now you've got a hole in here, and these pleura aren't working, so that lung ain't going to move anywhere, so basically you can't breathe out of this one lung. But we'll get there when we do respiration. What do we got going on here? Mucous membranes, there's 4 of them there. Respiratory, digestive, urinary, and reproduction. Okay, and you guys can read about all this there when you guys get to the chapter, when you guys read your chapter. You have a look here. Very quick overview. Just the whole idea of just the different layers that's going on here when we're talking about epithelial. You guys can have a look. You've got serosa, mucosa, submucosa. These are these microvilli. We'll get more into goblet cells and these kinds of things there when we get into digestion. But you'll have a look here. This is what we call a lacteal. And that's these ones right here. And it's just about increasing the surface area in the lung or in the small intestine. It's just more area to absorb nutrients. And you'll see here all of these lacteals there, these villi here, they've got your blood vessels and your lymph and everything's right in here. So nothing is getting by them. And just a shot here, alimentary canal, the wall there of the small intestine. There's your mucosa, submucosa, muscularis, and serosa. Those are your 4 layers that are always there. Okay. Serous membranes there, they line the ventral body cavities, okay, that do not have an opening there to the exterior. Pleura, parietal or visceral there, we saw them there with the lungs. Pericardium there is the lining there for the heart. So you guys can have a read of these and have some fun with those. Other than that, that is the lecture there for the first half. I'll send another video there coming right after. Okay? Thanks, guys.